Before a philosopher king rules anything, he must rule over his own passions. There are Machiavellian agents hell-bent on making sure this never happens. One of the main tactics they use is anger. They want you to be angry. They need you to be angry. When you are angry, you are easier to control, easier to direct. When you are angry, you aren't thinking clearly, if you are thinking at all. They don't want you to be thinking. They want to do the thinking for you. One of the hardest lessons you need to learn, and learn fast, is that to the elites, you are nothing more than cattle. And cattle has no value unless it is being milked or slaughtered. The elites are not above a good culling now and then, so you'd better listen up. Now, human cattle is much harder to herd than the bovine kind. By far, one of the biggest differences is that humans chafe at being told what to do. If you tell them what to do, even if they know it's in their own interests, they're not going to want to do it. How much more stubborn are people going to be if you tell them to do something they know is not in their interest? This is the problem the elites mean to solve, and inciting anger and hatred is their solution. They study us. Did you know that? They know more about you than you know about you, and that is not good. A good and disturbing illustration of how the elites view us is found in a 1965 book called Propaganda by Jacques Ellul. He is much better known for his book, The Technological Society, which you might find interesting as well. The subtitle of Propaganda is The Formation of Men's Attitudes, and this gets to the heart of the way the elites are operating. Ellul, by the way, would call the elites technocrats. Since the elites know that telling us what to do will only make us want to do the opposite, they try to form our attitudes without us knowing they are doing so that we do what they want us to do. They do this by getting us to think something is our idea, even though it is actually their idea. And one of the ways they form and shape us is by whipping us into anger. Here's an excerpt from Ellul's book, Propaganda. For example, propaganda will permit what so far was prohibited, such as hatred, which is a dangerous and destructive feeling and fought by society. But man always has a certain need to hate, just as he hides in his heart the urge to kill. Moreover, propaganda points out enemies that must be slain, transforming crime into a praiseworthy act. Almost every man feels the desire to kill his neighbor, but this is forbidden, and in most cases the individual will refrain from it for fear of the consequences. But propaganda opens the door and allows him to kill the Jews, the bourgeois, the communists, and so on, and such murder even becomes an achievement. Ellul goes on to point out that one of mankind's greatest needs is to feel that he is right. It doesn't matter if he is right, he's got to feel that he is. By arousing him into anger, by directing him towards a cause, the greater good seems to do the trick these days, you can get him to do what feels good. Lash out in anger. The technocrat manufactures the situation to ensure that the lashing is always in the direction the technocrats want to go. Ellul continues, there is no question here of reassuring the people or of demonstrating the reality of a situation to them. Nothing could upset them more. The point is to excite them, to arouse their sense of power, their desire to assert themselves, and to arm them psychologically so that they can feel superior to the threat. And the man who seeks to escape his strangling anxiety by any means will feel miraculously delivered as soon as he can participate in the campaign mounted by propaganda, as soon as he can dive into this liberating activity which resolves his inner conflicts by making him think that he is helping to solve those of society. This is a book that was written in 1965. Surely you can see all around you how it is that there are constantly new things to be enraged about. They make us angry about something for 10 minutes, just long enough to move the ball. Then they make us angry about something else for another 10 minutes. And we, stupid sheeple that we are, forget about all the other things that we were angry about just 30 minutes ago. Rage. They need us constantly enraged. But understand this, modern society has so conditioned us that we ourselves want to be constantly enraged. Ellul was not the only one to observe this about modern society, or the technocrats' response to it. Orwell's book, 1984, describes how people were controlled by the regular scheduling of 2 minutes of rage. The really insane part is that people are so stupid that they keep falling for this tactic over and over again. In a future video, I will explain in more detail how they use this anger against us. For now, it is enough to say that if you would be a philosopher king, you can no longer play this game. If you're going to be angry, at least be angry about the things that you yourself have carefully deliberated upon. Stop participating in the regular rage of the day. Those who do play this game are happy slaves who love their chains and would be happier still if the rest of us were chained up with them. More to say about all of that, but for now, know this. You must wake up and step out of the technocrats' manipulations. None of us will be free until a critical mass decides that the elites should be kicked to the curb. Let the kicking begin with you. I am a Philosopher King 2.0. I need you to be one too. Like and subscribe, blah blah blah. You know the drill. Let's do this.